Have you ever really stopped to wonder what goes into the stuff we buy? I mean, beyond just the price tag, there's this whole hidden world of strategy that dictates what companies make, how they sell it, and yeah, why some products just disappear. Today, we're going to pull back that curtain and see how companies manage everything from a single item on a shelf to their entire lineup. Okay, so here's our game plan. We're going to start with the basics. What's the difference between a product and a service? Then we'll take a product apart to see what it's made of, see how it fits into a company's grand plan, follow its entire life story, and look at the strategies companies use along the way. And to wrap it all up, we'll look at how Peloton is kind of changing the rules for everyone. Let's do this. So, first things first. When you hand over your money, what are you really buying? Let's kick things off with a super simple, everyday situation. Think about it for a second. The coffee itself, the liquid in the cup, that's the product. But someone taking your order, the barista making your drink, the whole act of them serving you, well, that's the service. You see, almost everything we buy is some kind of blend of the two, and that leads to a really important distinction.
So here's the fundamental difference. Products are tangible. They're physical things you can own, like the phone or computer you're watching this on. Services, on the other hand, are intangible. They're actions or experiences, like going to a concert. You can't exactly bottle up a concert and save it for next year, right? Its value is created and used up in the very same moment. But that line is getting blurrier.
Because today, the smartest companies know it's not about just selling one or the other. They're crafting a total customer experience. The perfect example, the Apple Store. Sure, you walk out with a physical product, a new iPhone, but the clean design of the store, the expert help from the staff, the whole vibe, that is the experience. And that's a huge part of what you're actually paying for. Okay, now that we've got the big picture, let's zoom way in. If you could put any product under a microscope, you'd find that it's actually built in 3 distinct layers. Let's break this down with something super simple, like a bottle of water. The core product isn't the water itself, it's the benefit you get. Hydration, convenience. The actual product is the thing you hold in your hand, the plastic bottle, the logo, the specific brand. But the augmented level? That's where things get interesting. It's all the extra stuff, like customer service, a warranty, or maybe a company's recycling program. It's the hidden value. And here's a fantastic, maybe my favorite, example of this. Butterball's Turkey Talk Line. The actual product is, the turkey. But that free hotline with experts who can talk you down from a full-blown Thanksgiving panic, that's the augmented product. It's this incredible layer of service that builds die-hard brand loyalty.
Okay, time to zoom back out. Companies rarely sell just one thing. They manage a whole collection, a portfolio of products. So how do they keep it all straight? Let's use a company like Domino's to see how they organize their entire menu.
It really boils down to these 3 simple ideas. You've got the product item. That's one specific thing, like a medium hand-tossed pepperoni pizza. Then you have the product line. That's a group of related items, like all of their pizzas. And finally, the product mix. That's the whole shebang, every single thing they sell, from pizzas to pastas, sides, and desserts. And here's what that looks like visually. The number of different lines they have, pizza, pasta, sides, that's what strategists call the mix width. The wider the mix, the more types of customers you can attract. Now, the number of options within each line, like all those different pizza crusts, that's the line depth, giving customers more choice. Companies are constantly fine-tuning this balance.
Now, a crucial thing to understand is that products aren't static. They have a life cycle. It actually helps to think of them like people. They're born, they grow up, they mature, and eventually, well, they decline. And knowing where a product is in that life cycle is absolutely critical for a business. So this is the classic journey. You start with the introduction. It's slow, it's expensive, you're just trying to get the word out. If you get traction, you hit the growth stage, and boom, sales take off like a rocket. Then comes maturity, where things level off. This is where most successful products spend the longest time. And finally, you have decline, where sales start to fade away. But here's the thing. This isn't a strict rule. It's more of a model. Think about fads, like those hoverboards from a few years back. They exploded into the growth phase and then just fell off a cliff. They basically skipped the whole maturity phase and went straight to decline. So not everything follows the same script.
So, do companies just sit back and watch this happen? No way. The really smart ones are in the driver's seat. They actively manage this journey using specific strategies to shape a product's destiny at every single stage.
Okay, so during that tough introduction stage, a go-to strategy, especially for new tech, is called rapid skimming. The idea is you launch with a really high price to capture all those early adopters who just have to have the new thing, and you spend a ton on promotion. It's all about grabbing market share fast before competitors can even react.
Now, what do you do when your product is mature? Let's take Cheerios, a brand that's been around forever. To avoid decline, they pulled off a brilliant market modification. They didn't really change the cereal. Instead, they changed the customer, repositioning Cheerios as a heart-healthy food for adults. Same product, totally new market. Genius. And what about the decline stage? Well, sometimes the best move is to just let it go, to divest. You either sell the brand or just stop making it. The most famous example is probably Coca-Cola and New Coke. It was a disaster, and holding on to it was just hurting the main brand, so they cut it loose. Okay, for our last section, let's tie all of these ideas together and look at a company that is absolutely rewriting the playbook by blending product, service, and experience into one seamless package: Peloton. The Peloton model is a masterclass in this. You've got the one-time, very expensive sale of the bike, that's the product. But the real engine of the business, the thing that makes it all work, is that required monthly subscription for the classes. That's the service, and it creates this constant, predictable stream of revenue. This quote from their former CEO tells you everything you need to know about their mindset. They don't think of themselves as an exercise equipment company. Nope, they see themselves as a tech company. The bike is just the beautiful piece of hardware that delivers their real offering: the software, the classes, the community. And this is really the big takeaway. This product-service bundle is becoming a huge trend. For the company, it means stable, recurring revenue and a customer who's deeply invested in their ecosystem. And for you, the customer, it means you get an experience that's always evolving and getting better. It's designed to be a win-win. Which leads me to one final question for you. This model of turning products into services is popping up everywhere. So I want you to look around at your car, your fridge, your coffee maker. What everyday product do you think is next in line to become a subscription service? Something to think about.